Hello, everybody. What's going on? Thanks for coming back and tuning into our Accountant Showcase series. We bring insight into the profession, and today we have Laura Bechard joining us. I've worked with Laura on conferences and webinars and podcasts. She's very fun to be around. Love spending time with her. And Laura, nice to see you again. And really thanks for your time this morning. So please tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Chris. Good to see you again. It's always fun to participate in the Entigrity events, and you do such a wide variety of things. So thanks again for inviting me to participate in the fireside chat. So I'm not sure where this is going to air. So I'm just telling you that we're on the Christmas countdown, and up in Canada, where I'm from, that's where we have wonderful snow, and in some other parts of the world, you don't benefit as much from our snow. So I popped up the virtual background so you can have a glimpse of what it looks like back here in Canada these days. So I'm a chartered professional accountant. I did my designation back in the early 90s, completed my designation then. But I took the path early where I spent most of my career in academics. So I worked in higher education for the first 25 years of my career as becoming a designated accountant. And so I was really involved in grooming and educating the upcoming accountants students who went on to complete the professional program and acquire their designation. So that was the lion's share of the work that I did in the career before opening my consulting firm in 2013, Provision Business Advisors.
Got it. And when you so did you always want to work in the profession? Did somebody inspire you? Is it run in the family?
No. This was my mother made me do it story.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. So right out of high school, I thought that I wanted to be a computer science programmer.
Okay.
And I took 1 year of computer programming, writing code. And back at this time, it was key punch cards. It wasn't as fun as it was now.
Right.
And I decided, this really is not for me. And so I transferred into education at that point because my parents were both teachers. That ran in the family.
Okay.
But my parents really discouraged me from being involved in education. And then ultimately, I went into commerce, where when you had to select your major, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And my mother said, well, you're smart enough to do the accounting. It's never going to hurt you to have a strong financial background. So just do accounting. So that was kind of what brought me into the career, was my mom told me to.
That's awesome. Go mom. Yeah, no. And you've absolutely flourished and been extremely important in working with, your clients. And every time I do this, I always hear a unique story. And it's very rare that and folks I spoke with where like the family was all CPA and it's just all they do. There's many different stories and avenues of inspiration, being told to, family is involved in some aspect, but it's never kind of like already expected early on, like I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something. So
I'm the only one in my family who is in business at all, who took a business degree. I have other siblings that are in business, but they got into business through the other kind of, my one sister's a pharmacist, and so she owns some pharmacies. But I'm the only, I have three sisters, and I'm the only one that was in business.
Mm-hmm. And so now let's go back to the profession, right? So the profession over the last 3 years to where it is now, and where do you see it going over the next 3 years? I know lots happened in the last 3 years. So can you share some introspect into that?
I think the last 3 years, certainly the accountants were starting to see themselves more as really financial, more broadly financial advisors and assistants to their clients. And a lot of that came about because the pandemic brought a whole number of other programs. And so whether they were rent subsidies or wage subsidies, or they were loans for businesses to help them get through the shutdown, the accountants were often involved in helping their clients navigate the bureaucracy and actually helping their clients even know what they qualified and how to fill out the paperwork that the government's required, and even
Right.
whether they were, what level of government was requiring them. Because certainly in Canada, I don't know if the same was true in the United States, but there would be provincial and national, or state incentives versus national incentives, and so you had to navigate that gauntlet. And people are often very afraid of filling out the paperwork wrong and getting a fine of some sort, or having to repay money, or getting money maybe they didn't qualify for by accident. And so it really brought the accountants into that advisor role, even though they may not have been in that role before. And so I think some of them flourished and some of them loved it. Some of them didn't figure out how they were going to charge for it. Some of them did charge for it. Others didn't charge for it as just kind of as a value add for helping their clients. So it really brought a lot of these questions back to the forefront of the role of accounting and accountants in general. And I think also some of the work that's happening in Canada, and CPA Canada is moving really a lot more towards accountants becoming sort of the masters of data. And so financial data has really been our bailiwick for eons, and now really moving into other kinds of data that the skill set that we have with data management and data analysis can be moving into other areas of data.
Yep.
The other things that I see happening are really, they are moving more into advisory roles, primarily because their clients are demanding it of them. And they're also the kind of the growth of all of the software is reducing the need for them to be putting some resources into some of the entry. I mean, like being able to snap a picture of a receipt, and the digitization, which is going to really come as we get the generational change. I mean, when we have entrepreneurs who are still, the baby boomers are still working in businesses, and some have really embraced technology and others have not. But that's just going to become more and more the norm with entrepreneurs as the generations change. You're going to have a lot fewer boxes brought into the office that have to be sorted.
Yeah. Yeah. That's spot on insight onto how it's evolved, right? And I feel the same way, but it really wasn't on top of everyone's mind to move into that advisory role, even though it should be in some type of aspect, depending on their clients. But then all of a sudden you're forced into it, and yeah, everyone's just scrambling and running around trying to figure everything out. And so, all in all, I think it is for the good, especially realizing that and working with your clients is all about building the relationships, and there's so much more that they could be doing. And then, monetizing and right revenue streams, and is an added benefit for the firm. And this is a model that I think should have been in place, but now here you go. You have this opportunity to really kind of reinvent your firm, and so the profession definitely now has an idea that they can work virtual, remote, can not worry about the day-to-day compliance and evolve. And so
And
it's
they're
exciting
figuring
time.
out that they don't have to have the office where clients come, because they've been
Yeah,
doing it quite efficiently. I
yeah,
know one of the clients that I work with is still got a lot of manual clients, and so people drop their boxes off, and the boxes were in quarantine for 48 hours before they'd even touch the paper at that time.
yeah. Don't wipe down everything.
Yeah.
Um, so when Laura is not out there making superstar firms and superstar folks in the industry, what does Laura like to do for fun?
My husband and I, we welcome people actually from all over the world. I love meeting people. I am an extrovert by birth, and so we open our home up, and we welcome people, and we host people from all around the world as Airbnb hosts. So
Yeah.
that's what I really do enjoy doing that, and I enjoy traveling as many people do. And I do enjoy baking and cooking and spending time in my kitchen and reading. So I mean, there's lots of things that I enjoy doing. Having a glass of wine and a laugh with some friends is always a great way to pass an evening.
Yeah, no, you need to separate yourself and
And now
enjoy
and
live in
now
the
I'm a
moment.
yeah, and now I'm a new grandma. So that's what I like to do for
Woo!
fun is hang out with
Congrats.
she's now 4 months, my granddaughter.
That's awesome. Congrats. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And I'm
And
lucky enough that she lives only 20 minutes away, so it's easy to get to see her.
yeah, no Zoom calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's awesome about the Airbnb. I myself did that. I was really vying for Superhost, and I was like following everything, and I had like one little blip. I forgot I mean, this is like a decade ago, and I was so mad, so I stopped hosting. But in the same aspect, one, living in New York City helped with the rent, but two, meeting people and then having points of contact, as I love traveling too. And so that's awesome, getting to meet new people. And yeah, Laura, again, thanks for taking some time out today, and sharing your insights of how you got started here in the industry. And so, any final thoughts before we go today?
No, I mean, it's been a great asset for me in terms of my career, and I have to say my mom was right because I married a farmer who, so somebody who was in a family business, multi-generational family business. And so bringing my role in that family business has really been to bring the financial skill set to the business. And so my mom didn't know that I was going to marry a business owner at the time that she encouraged me to go into the accounting program. But I absolutely have used a lot of that information to not only help the clients that I've worked with and teaching students along the way, but also in my husband's and my business that really working to grow that business. And my role has always sort of been the CFO and the head HR person to look after a lot of the administration related to that business. And it's actually changed that business from being a lifestyle business to being a business because we started looking at decisions we were making through the
Hmm.
lens, the financial lens that I brought as an accountant to the table.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's important to be humble and seek resources, ask for help. And there's plenty out there for the industry, folks like yourself. So appreciate what you do. Again, thanks for taking time out and sharing your insight here. And for now, take care, be safe, and we'll talk soon.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry Christmas.
holidays.